From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is your News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, January 26th. About 100 schools were on delays or closed today due to the extreme cold, feeling negative 20 in some places like Kokomo. A good chunk of the state will struggle to get out of the teens with highs in the mid-teens to low 20s. And then tomorrow, some big improvements ahead. In the temperature department, at least, highs look to jump for Thursday into the mid-30s. We'll have a little bit more cloud cover. And also, our Storm Track 8 team says that we can't rule out some flurries during the afternoon hours. And there's been a dramatic rise in cases and hospitalizations in the Omicron spike. New data from the CDC shows how much both have jumped. The daily case numbers have climbed to nearly 800,000 across the country. That's 5 times higher than the worst days of Delta. The raw number of cases is so much higher that 10,000 more people each day are in the hospital, nearly twice as many as Delta, even though Omicron is oftentimes more mild. The agency is using the figures to remind everyone to mask up and keep up to date with vaccines to ease the pressure on hospitals and healthcare workers. A lawsuit challenging Indiana University's vaccine mandate will not go any further. A federal appeals court dismissed it yesterday. The case involved 8 students. According to the court, 7 of them have been given religious exemptions, and the 8th no longer plans to attend the school. The same federal court previously ruled that the university could require students and employees to get the vaccine. And today, a discussion on the future of the COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Anthony Fauci is set to talk about what could prevent the next pandemic. Health experts believe COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon, but there are conversations happening right now about different ways to prevent it, including maybe another booster. If you've had your first dose of the COVID vaccine and maybe your second or third, be prepared for possibly a fourth. It's something health experts are tossing around right now with a highly contagious Omicron variant. For fully vaccinated adults, cases are often mild or even asymptomatic. Still, the country is now averaging more than 2,000 deaths a day. Pfizer says it's making an Omicron-specific vaccine, but it begs the question, what about other variants that could come out?
We need to have a more pan-coronavirus vaccine, one that really doesn't matter which is your variant, it'll still have efficacy.
This is something Dr. Fauci is expected to talk about at the White House today. Fauci says we've made progress to develop the next generation of the vaccine, and there's a lot of investment going towards the making of it. This is because health experts like Fauci believe the importance of developing a pan-coronavirus vaccine will help prevent illness from future pandemics. The Indiana House will now take up a bill that would change who can and cannot post bail for someone else. It passed the Senate yesterday. The proposal came after 2 high-profile murder cases in Indianapolis. In both cases, the national nonprofit The Bail Project paid for the suspects' bails. Then both suspects killed someone while they were awaiting trial. Nikki Sterling's son, Dylan McGinnis, was murdered in one of these cases. She says this bill could have saved her son's life.
It's really given me a purpose. It's been really enlightening to learn how the organizations, the charitable bail organizations operate.
The new rules mean nonprofits would only be able to cover bail for misdemeanors of $2,000 or less. Any person or organization that bails out more than 2 people within 6 months would also need to be licensed and then regulated by the Indiana Department of Insurance. Congressman Greg Pence is running for re-election. News 8 was there when he filed his paperwork at the Statehouse. Pence represents the 6th district, which stretches from Muncie to Madison on the east side of the state. It's the same district his brother Mike Pence served before becoming governor and then later vice president. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is also seeking another term in office. Pelosi is not yet saying if she'll run for speaker again, but the 81-year-old California Democrat has represented California's 12th district for more than 30 years. In 2007, she became the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House. President Biden says he's willing to put personal sanctions on Russia's President Vladimir Putin beyond any moves aimed at Russia as a whole. Biden says he may soon move American troops into Eastern Europe to show the strength of NATO. $200 million worth of American weapons are set to arrive in Ukraine today. According to the U.S. Embassy, the delivery includes 300 missiles and 79 tons of equipment for the Ukrainian armed forces. The State Department says it's been clear with Russia about repercussions if it attacks Ukraine.
We've been clear with the Russian Federation about the severe costs that would befall them were this to move forward. In recent days, we've also made clear to Belarus that if it allows its territory to be used for an attack on Ukraine, it would face a swift and decisive response from the United States and our allies and partners.
The White House says it still considers a Russian invasion of Ukraine as imminent. And a critical meeting of the Federal Reserve. Analysts expect the Fed to signal its first interest rate increase in 3 years and an end to the Fed's monthly bond purchases, both likely starting in March. The moves would be a switch from the low-rate policies that have been the rule so far in the pandemic. The American Red Cross is asking for help with a blood crisis. The organization says many people have rolled up their sleeves to donate since it issued the alert, but its supply levels are still dangerously low. The Red Cross is offering special promotions to encourage donors to make appointments. Krispy Kreme is providing free donuts to all donors who give blood this month. You just need to go to any Krispy Kreme shop, show proof of donation by January 31st. Unfortunately, there still isn't a central Indiana location, so you'll have to drive a little bit. One's in Mishawaka, another is in Jeffersonville. We're still waiting on that Castleton location to open up. A local group is spreading puppy love ahead of Valentine's Day. The Indiana Canine Assistance Network, ICANN, is taking orders for special dog deliveries. ICANN provides dogs for a variety of emotional and physical needs. Organizers say a dog in training will deliver gifts in and around Indianapolis and Bloomington. The gift and delivery packages start at $60. You do have to order by February 7th for delivery to be made between the 12th and 14th. And a local animal welfare organization is reminding pet owners of the harmful effects this cold weather can have on animals. In Indianapolis, it's a violation to leave a dog outside when the temperatures dip below 20 degrees or during a wind chill warning, both of which we are in today. Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside, or FIDO, says you should bring dogs inside your home or into a temperature-controlled building that's between 40 and 80 degrees. The group says your dog needs adequate shelter with insulated bedding, water that they can drink, meaning not frozen, and extra food during cold weather. The extreme cold can also be dangerous for people who spend time outside. Frostbite, hypothermia, and dehydration can all come from not being prepared before you leave home. We talked to a doctor at Eskenazi Health. He says there are some things you need to know, especially if your age group is considered vulnerable.
Most at risk are extremes of age. So obviously babies, infants, young children, their skin is just not as thick as ours. And the elderly. So same concept. Their skin is just a little thinner than ours. So even more important to, get out of the cold as soon as you can and stay warm.
Some other advice from Dr. Brett Hartman: you shouldn't stay outside for longer than an hour if the temperature is under 20 degrees. And apparently not everyone was ready for the Arctic air. Workers at Ace Hardware Twin Air tell us that winter weather always brings in more business, and a lot of people came in Tuesday at the last minute.
Kind of a hit and miss situation, depending on if there's any precipitation, ice, sleet, things like that. That picks up business. We've got gloves right behind you and hats. It's a daily thing.
He says it's hard to keep everything stocked and that heaters always go fast. Kroger officials say N95 masks will be free later this week. The grocery chain will be one of the access points for the Biden administration's plan to offer the masks. The stores and pharmacies will offer up to 3 free masks to anyone who visits. They're expected to arrive as soon as tomorrow. Kroger says to look for a branded display or just ask for help. And a clean start to 2022 for Westfield Washington schools. The district received a massive donation of 30,000 packs of wipes. That's $144,000 worth of product. It's enough to provide for all 9 schools in the district, families, and the community. This was a partnership between the Westfield Education Foundation, Teachers Treasures, the Kids in Need Foundation, and Lysol. Every teacher received a pack of wipes, and every single elementary school student took a pack home. Also, families with students in grades 5 through 12 have an opportunity to stop by any school facility and pick up wipes for free. Community partners of Westfield Washington Schools donated packs to some local businesses, too. And the giving doesn't stop there. Even people who live in Westfield who aren't associated with the school district can pick up free wipes at the Westfield Washington Public Library and the Westfield Aquatics YMCA and YMCA Studio.
Especially now, we don't know what any one family has gone through as it relates to financial hardship or any challenges that they've faced. So, to have something like this come just right out of the blue and to say here, if you need them, take them, was a really great opportunity for families.
The Westfield Education Foundation is made up of volunteers to empower and invest in students, teachers, and staff. The foundation is now working to put on a supportive event for teachers in April. Organizers say any kind of community support and monetary donations are welcomed. And today, state lawmakers will hear a bill that would make college more affordable for undocumented students. The measure would waive out-of-state tuition. Indiana is one of 3 states with laws preventing undocumented students from receiving in-state rates. One local student says the bill would improve her chances at a successful future.
I just think it will help everyone that really wants to be successful, to open doors. And we need to be educated. So I think this will make it easier for everyone. And we deserve it. We are hard workers.
A hearing for the bill is scheduled for 1:30 this afternoon. U.S. Coast Guard officials say 39 people are missing after a boat capsized off the coast of Florida. According to the Coast Guard, it's likely the boat was being used to smuggle people. It was en route from the Bahamas to Florida. The Coast Guard was tipped off that something had happened after someone rescued a man who had been clinging to the boat. That was off the East Coast, just north of West Palm Beach. An Indiana native is getting closer to the Baseball Hall of Fame. The pride of Jasper, Scott Rowland, just missed out in this week's voting, landing on 63% of the ballots. A player needs 75% to get in. It's Rowland's best result yet, though, and he still has 5 more years of eligibility. Red Sox slugger David Ortiz is the only player elected this year. The shutout continued for steroid-era stars Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Sammy Sosa. All failed to get enough votes to get in. And finally, we are 123 days away from the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500. Rookie drivers will highlight this year's field, including one racing legend preparing for his 500 debut. Jimmie Johnson is already a surefire NASCAR Hall of Famer, but at 46, he's now committing to IndyCar for the first time. News 8's Olivia Ray talked to him and his fast competition about the switch.
From Talladega, Daytona, Bristol Motor Speedway, and even the road course at IMS, Jimmie Johnson has conquered majority of the iconic racetracks in America. But there is, and always has been, one oval in the back of his mind.
The energy, the pageantry, the attention, the meaning, the history, all those things come together, and the city embraces this race like no one else.
We pestered you all May. You were here during May. We kept asking you, are you going to run the 500? Are you going to run the 500? All year long, we finally have it confirmed. I want to know the moment that clicked for you, that you were like, I have to throw my name in this ring.
It's always been on my mind, and I feel like when the aero screen was introduced, my antenna went up a little then, and then I went to my first Indy 500, and in person, I wanted to be out there so bad. And of course, being here for the couple of weeks and everything that went on, Alex Palou's big crash that he had in practice, there were some great data points for me to learn and understand the safety level of the cars.
For a man who earned all but one of his 83 NASCAR Cup wins on an oval, the road and street courses just weren't quite cutting it for Johnson. He made 12 IndyCar starts for Chip Ganassi Racing last year, and he took his lumps with his best finish at 17th. But don't roll out hardware just yet for the number 48's first official full season ahead.
I'm not going to trash talk a 7-time NASCAR champion. He's going to feel much more at home and much more in his wheelhouse, where he's going to pick up a ton of confidence, and I think that's going to help him throughout the season.
I'm telling you, I'm looking forward to have more battles with him, but now we're going to be towards the front.
Jimmie got the bug and decided that he wants to do the whole championship. The competition is there. Obviously, he's a 7-time NASCAR champion. His oval skills are unbelievable. He's still a rookie, though.
Rookie or not, JJ is headed for the 500, and we are bound to get another May for the record books. Olivia Ray, Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook.
This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast with Wish TV's Kylie Conway. A Wish TV News 8 update on demand for even more on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.